Alright, spoiler warning, if you've not seen the latest episode of Supergirl, you may want to get up off this video because when these fingers disappear, I'm about to fuck it up. Now, we finally see the Fortress of Solitude. Let me redo that. We finally see the Fortress of Solitude, and I love how they stuck true to some of the animated like one of the animated Superman series, and some of the in the comics also, where only a Kryptonian can lift the key, to get into the solitude, to the fortress. I really like that. That is like way better. I mean, and this, when they show that, that just makes Superman Returns look like a terrible, god awful plot. Like how did Lex Luthor get in there, and how did he getting access to the crystals, and etc. etc. I mean, only Kryptonians should be able to have access to all of that. Seriously, and or when you try to put it into when you try to get some information on the data. How it has data, each crystal has data, and then it's all of a sudden activates when you put it in one of the slots. I mean, only Kryptonians should be able to do that. Okay, back on topic. Now, this episode was pretty good. It was a pretty good, because you see the weight of John Jones's decision, or Martian Manhunter's decision to take the blame for Astra's death. And you see how that's eating away at Alex, and it's putting more weight on her shoulders the more she hears about Kara talk, just vent and rant and talk about how, John Jones took that chance away from Astra to redeem herself, and how she may never forgive him for that. And just hearing her say all that, it's like she jammed a knife in her gut, and it's turning the knife slowly turning the knife, and it's just like, and she just cannot take it anymore. You can tell. I said to myself when I watched this episode, like, Alex is gonna break. She's not gonna be able to hold this in much longer. She's gonna tell her what happened at some point. And I was like, you need to just tell her. I was rooting for Alex to just break free and just forget about what Jean said. Just tell Kara the truth. And at the very end, she finally did. I mean, she could not take any more tension, between her and Martian Manhunter. She just cannot take it anymore, and she just spilled the beans and told her everything, and after hearing her say all that stuff, she was ready for her to just to be really resentful towards her, and she broke down, and then they hug, and Jean was wrong about the sisterhood, where they didn't want to take the chance of her shutting her out of her life. But and without all being said, Supergirl welcomes him back into the fold. While they're hugging, they have that's like a moment of family. I mean, you can tell that all the three of them are like a strong family unit. He's scary to walk out, and then she reaches out for his hand, and then they all have that moment, and nearly gave me the fucking feels. I mean, like, what the fuck? I'm telling you, if they had a Martian Manhunter movie, I'd probably be in the movie theater bawling like a girl watching The Notebook. Like, seriously. I mean, like, he has, like, I think out of all the characters in the DC universe, I think he has probably the most tragic story by far that I can think of anyway. I mean, you can say Batman's story is probably the most tragic. You may say that, or I don't know. I'd say Martian Manhunter, because he lost his entire family. He had nobody, like, after that. I mean, before he joined the Justice League, but still, it's that's what I call his story the most tragic one. And and seeing that come into play, seeing those reminders, seeing seeing some of the fuckery shit that he goes through on Justice League, like in his first episode, and even in the Christmas episode of Justice League. I mean, that all that shit gives me the feels. I'm like, damn, fuck. And so we had let me see, what is the villain's name again? Indigo. She I don't really quite. I'm not quite familiar with that character other than you know, she must be connected to Brainiac somehow, which she is. Or I thought it was just a female version of Brainiac or whatnot. Maybe it's a fresh, brand new character in the new reboot, you know, comic book series of you know, the DC characters. I don't know, but that's cool that she's played by you know, someone who has stepped into the shoes of Supergirl. That is pretty awesome. That you know, to see her on, you know, screen together. I like how they do that, and you know, they do a different incarnation, and they have someone who has played, you know, played the character or been a part of a earlier incarnation of that character, jumps in, you know, and has something to contribute to this new, fresh take on the characters. You know what I mean? You know, I think that's pretty cool. So like they got both. So they have almost everybody that's been involved in the Superman legacy, you know, throwing their inputs on this. You know, they had Dean Cain, Helen Slater, now Laura Vandervoort. That is really freaking cool. And I mean, not too much happened, and it looks like I think this is, you know, this episode, you know, is the expiration of Jimmy and Lucy. I mean, yet again, I mean, he you know, she catches him in another lie. Oh man, and it was at that point, you know, like when Carrot says, "Okay, you can tell her who I am," and when he was about to do it, that's when she broke it off. I'm like, oh boy. I mean, it was just a matter of time before they, you know, those two, you know, gone their separate ways. You know what I mean? And it seems like Wen and Silver Banshee, you know, you know, having a little friends with Benefits, you know, thing going there, or you know, love interest. I don't know. I'm like, okay. I mean, she's a stuck-up, brown-nosed young woman. I mean, those are very poor, very poor qualities, and I don't know why, you know, he would be attracted to that. But oh well, it's whatever. I mean, we'll see how that goes. And let's see. It looks like we may have another week, like at least another week off from a Supergirl episode. I'm guessing maybe a few weeks. Maybe no, maybe it's a week. Man, I can't believe we're only weeks away from the Flash's Supergirl crossover. I am so stoked for that. Oh man, but and I think this episode gets a 7.5 out of 110. Not a whole lot happened, but it was still pretty cool to watch. You know, it was still a fun ride, and it was cool to see Alex finally break free and get all that weight off her shoulders and tell Supergirl what really happened, you know, with Astra. So I'm glad they finally got that out of the way, because I felt bad for Alex. I'm like, come on, girl, just tell her what happened. Come on, just tell her what happened. So finally, now they can push forward as a family, as a team, and keep the Earth safe. You know what I mean? Now, if you enjoyed my review for this episode, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure you click subscribe if you're new to the channel. And feel free to tell me what you thought of the episode. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.